children. So, in the last class, today we will learn social lesson. In the last class, we were doing about this Greenland, the land of ice and snow. So, we were learning about the polar region, right? So, that region was totally covered with ice and snow. So, those regions are also called as tundra regions, isn't it? So, those are also called as tundra regions. That means that are cold deserts. So, we learned about the cold deserts in that class. So, we learned to read that cold deserts. We learned about the country that is Greenland and the land of ice and snow. We learned, right? Now, today we are going to learn about a place which is very hot. It's very hot and it is also called as land of hot sands. So, we will learn about hot desert today. Last time we learned about cold desert, isn't it? So, today we will learn about a country, Saudi Arabia. We will learn about a country, Saudi Arabia, land of hot sands. So, when I tell you about the land of hot sand, means naturally where do you find the sand? Mostly in the deserts. So, today we will learn about a place, Saudi Arabia, which is very hot and it comes under hot desert. Which area? Hot desert. So, we have to learn about the deserts today. And we have told you about the Saudi Arabia. So, Saudi Arabia, see this word map? Are you seeing this? This is here you have Saudi Arabia. This is the place. This is the place. This is Saudi Arabia. See here? So, this is Saudi Arabia, which comes in the southeastern Asia, the western part of Asia. So, this is all about Saudi Arabia. See here, I will show you Saudi Arabia here. Saudi Arabia, West Asia. Saudi Arabia. See this one also? So, this is all Saudi Arabia. Today we will learn about this lesson. The land of hot deserts. Land of hot deserts or hot sands. So, it is a hot desert. So, when I tell you about a desert, so it is in Western Asia, you see. This is about the Saudi Arabia. So, now, when I tell you about desert, what do you understand by a desert? So, this is the place which receives very less rainfall. Less than 25 centimeters rainfall. Very less rainfall. This area receives very less rainfall. That is 25 centimeters per annum. So, what happens here? It is so hot that even sometimes when it rains, the water gets evaporated in the middle only before falling to the ground. Such hot heat you find there. So, the very less rainfall, 25 centimeters of rainfall. How do you measure 25 centimeters a day when it is raining? You put a test tube in the middle. How much water is collected in that? In the middle of direct rain. That indicates the rainfall. So, in that way, it has very less rainfall. That is 25 centimeters per annum and it is very meager rain. Isn't it? Very less rainfall. So, as it is when it is so hot that I told you, when it's raining, sometimes the water will get evaporated in the middle before touching the ground. Such hot is that area. So, those are called as deserts. The places which get less than 25 centimeters of rainfall are called as deserts. These are very hot and dry places. These are very hot and dry places, and mostly we find deserts on the western parts of the continents. Mostly we find deserts on the western end of all continents. Where do we find these deserts? Mostly on the western ends. Deserts are mostly found on the western ends of the continents. Now, the areas which get less than 25 centimeters of rain are called as deserts. These are very hot and they are mostly found on the western end of all the continents. So, now we are learning about the Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia is a large country. In the Arabian Peninsula. This whole thing is Arabian Peninsula. You see this one? This whole thing is the Arabian Peninsula. Not only Saudi Arabia, we have Yemen, we have Oman, we have UAE, Kuwait, all these Jordan, all these come under Arabian Peninsula. But in this Arabian Peninsula, Peninsula, Saudi Arabia is the largest country in the Arabian Peninsula. Is the largest country in Arabian Peninsula. Now, what do you mean by Arabian Peninsula? Peninsula is a place, is a large area that is jetting out into the sea, and surrounded by water on three sides. For example, you see India is also a peninsula, right? It is surrounded by water on the three sides and it has mountains on the northern side. So in this way, Saudi Arabia is the largest country in the Arabian Peninsula. Peninsula means an area jetting out into the sea, which comes into the sea and it is surrounded by water on all the three sides. Now this Saudi Arabia is the largest peninsula in the world also. This Saudi Arabia is the largest peninsula in the world. Now it lies between the Red Sea in the west and Persian Gulf. So it lies between the Red Sea. It lies between the Red Sea here. And this is the Persian Gulf on the western side. This west is the Red Sea and Persian Gulf in the east. Red Sea on the west. Do you understand? So in this way it is surrounded like that. And then the capital city. What is the capital city of this? The capital city of Saudi Arabia is Riyadh. What is the capital city? The capital city of Saudi Arabia is Riyadh. Capital city. What is the capital city? Capital city is Riyadh. This is the capital city of Saudi Arabia, and Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of Saudi Arabia and Arabian Peninsula. Tropic of Cancer passes through. See it. Tropic of Cancer passes through. See it. It is passing through. So 23.5 degree Tropic of Cancer passes through the Arabian Peninsula and mostly the Saudi Arabia. So this is about the Saudi Arabia. So here I told you Saudi Arabia is the largest peninsula in the world. It is surrounded by water. On the west side it is having Red Sea, Persian Gulf on the east, isn't it? And Riyadh is the capital city. What is the capital city of Saudi Arabia? Riyadh is the capital city of Saudi Arabia, and tropical cancer passes to the Arabian Peninsula, and that is to the Saudi Arabia and the Arabian Peninsula. Now let us learn about some land. We have to learn something about this land. So let us learn about the land of this country. So let us learn about the land. Now, a major part of Saudi Arabia is rocky plateau. It is a rocky plateau covered by loose sand. It is a rocky plateau. It is a rocky plateau covered by loose sand. Plateau area, you know. Plateau is an elevated flat land, isn't it? Elevated top land is a plateau. So this is also a very rocky plateau. It is having rocks always. It is an elevated land with rocks always, and moreover it has the loose sand. This dry sand area is called as Rabbal Khali. Dry sand area is Rabbal Khali. That is meaning is empty area. Rabbal Khali. So that Rabbal Khali's meaning is empty area. So this is a large rocky plateau. The land, how is the land of Saudi Arabia? It is a rocky plateau covered by loose sand. Dry sand area, large, very vast region you find very dry, and that is said to be the Rabbal Khali. Rabbal Khali meaning empty area. What do you mean by Rabbal Khali? Rabbal Khali means empty area. Empty area is the Rabbal Khali here. So it is a rocky plateau covered by loose sand, and it has large empty area, and that area is said to be the Rabbal Khali. So the mountains in this area are found on the western side. Where do you find mountains in this area? Mountains are found in western side. On the western side we found the mountains here. I told you the land, the Saudi Arabia is a rocky plateau which is covered with loose sand. And there is very large empty area which is called as Rabbal Khali or Rabbal Khali also you can say. Khali means nothing, empty area. So the mountains are found on the western side. Where do you find the mountains? Are along the western side. Have plateaus and sand. Central and eastern parts have central and eastern parts. Central and eastern parts. Central and eastern parts have plateaus and sandy deserts. Have plateaus and sandy deserts. What do they have? They have plateaus and sandy deserts. Plateaus again I told you they are very rocky, isn't it? And they have sandy deserts. Deserts are always covered with sand, right? So this is the land where you find the plateau is rocky plateau. It is having loose sand. Mountains are found. Have plateaus and sandy deserts, isn't it? So now there are many hills of loose sand. Many hills of loose sand. So what are these hills? Many hills of loose sands. Many hills of loose sand. So what are these hills of loose sand called? Are called as sand dunes. Sand dunes. So the hills of loose sand, small hills will you be finding there, and those are called as sand dunes. Now there is sand dust throughout the year. There will be sand storms. You know we have storms here, no? Cyclonic times. So they have heavy wind will blow. When the heavy winds blow, what will happen? There will be sand will be rising up. So that is called as sandstorms. So when these sandstorms occur, what will happen to the sand dunes is they will move away from that place and they will form a sand dune in some other place. Sand dunes in some other place. So these sand dunes are not permanent. They keep on changing from place to place. For example, you are walking through a desert and you want to put any landmark. For example, you say that this sand dune, I will make this as landmark. I have crossed this one. But that will not be useful at all because sandstorms, what will happen? They will push away the sand dune to some other place. So these sand dunes are the hills that are formed by the sand. So they are not permanent ones. So we cannot rely upon these sand dunes because there will be continuous sandstorms in the desert. Because of these sandstorms, what will happen? These dunes also keep on changing their places from one place to another place. So now what happens? The rainfall is very scanty here. One more feature of the desert is the rainfall is very less. When the rainfall is very less, what will happen? Only at the time of rain you will see some wadis or temporary streams will be formed. You will find wadis or temporary streams. Stream is what? A small body of water, isn't it? So these are only temporary. Only during rains you will see this body or temporary streams. For a very short period only. We see this only at the time of, if in case it is rain there, we see these bodies or temporary streams will be formed. So in that way we have learned about the land of Saudi Arabia, isn't it? We have learned about the land of Saudi Arabia. Now we will learn about the climate of Saudi Arabia. So climate, how will be the climate here? We are talking about hot sands. When we are talking hot sand means the climate also will be very hot naturally. Yes or no? Yes. The climate here is very hot. And the temperature may even rise to 50 degrees centigrade. So days are very hot and the temperature will rise to 50 degrees and the rainfall is very little and the sun is hot throughout the year. It may reach to 50 degrees. So what happened? The days are very hot. And night time what happened? Because the sun will lose the temperature fast and nights may become cool. So in this way the days are very hot and the nights will become very cool. So the nights are cold here. So there is a great difference of temperature between the day and night, isn't it? the days are very hot. The temperature is also going to 50 degrees. The rainfall is very less. When the rainfall is less, what will happen? Naturally, there will be low humidity. So in that way, what is happening? The temperature is very high during daytime, and the night time the temperature come down, they lose, isn't it? So what is happening here? The temperatures are very high at the daytime, and humidity is also low, and the temperatures may come down at the night because it is covered with sand. Sand loses temperature very fast, so nights become cool. So there is lot of variation of temperatures between the day and night here. Now the coastal areas will have mild climate, and Ava is a hill station which is very cool in summer. So naturally, hill stations are cool. Is a hill station, cooling hill station, cool in summer. In India also, do you know the story? Isn't it? Nainital, all these are Ooty, Kodaikanal, all these are hill stations in India, isn't it? Even in summer, these are very cold. So mostly people go in summer season to spend their vacation there, isn't it? So they will go to the places because they are cooler when comparatively seen with other places. So many people go for a vacation in summer so that they can have cooler climates there. So a hill station and in the elevated area. So this elevation is what? The temperatures are cooler when comparatively seen to the plainlands. So that is why mostly people go to the hill station to spend their vacation. So that is about one of the hill stations there is Ava. So I told you the climate is very hot and dry. The climate, how is the climate in Saudi Arabia? It is very hot and dry. This country gets very little rainfall. That is why it is a desert, isn't it? The places where the rainfall is very little, that is a desert here. So the temperature is hot throughout the year. So low humidity, the temperatures are very high. They reach 50 degrees centigrade. So the night becomes cool because in the night time the sand will lose the temperature to become cool fast. That is when the nights become cooler. The winters they are very cold. Winters will be very cold. So you find lot of variation of temperatures in day and night. Coastal areas are a bit mild here. So here a hill station. Ava is a hill station which is cool in summer. This is about the climate of this country. Now let us learn about the vegetation of this country. No vegetation. Hot desert. It is a hot desert. So what will you find there? Vegetation. So let us learn about the vegetation of this country. Vegetation means here you will find the places which will have very strong taproot system. You will find the trees which will have very strong taproot system which will go deep into the soil. Taproot system will be very much developed in these plants in desert areas because these roots have to go very deep into the soil. So as they go deep into the soil, they have to absorb water now. That is why they have a very strong taproot system. So we find the plants which have very strong taproot system which go deep into the soil, and the vegetation mainly consists of thorny bushes and cacti. Thorny bushes. So vegetation mostly we find here is thorny bushes and cacti. What is the vegetation you find here? Thorny bushes and cacti. These are the things, type of vegetation we find here. Now cacti. What do you mean by the cacti here means, you know, cactus, different types of cactus are found. Now cactus are thorny bushes. So what happens here is this cactus, have you seen this type of cactus? What will happen here is, this one will have spines on it. Isn't it? They have spines all over. So this green part which you see is nothing but the modified stem. It will be very sticky, like glue-like thing inside it if you open. So that is nothing but the stem. And these leaves are reduced to spines. So in this cacti or cactus, this fleshy leaf-like structure is stem. Because when you tear open, you will find sticky thing in it. That means they are storing water. Because it is having less water, they store water and they use it whenever they require. and these leaves of these bushes have been reduced to spines and thorns. Why have they been reduced to spines and to avoid loss of water, to avoid transpiration? These leaves have been reduced to spines in this cactus. So this type of vegetation you find in the deserts. So in this way, this is about the vegetation. Vegetation means what? You will find plants mostly which have very strong taproot system which goes deep into the soil. Next thing is we have thorny bushes and cacti. Cactus are nothing but the pines. Here in this you will find their stems will be very thick and fleshy so that they can store water, and the leaves will be reduced to spines. So these spines are nothing but the leaves. So in order to prevent the loss of water, because in desert they have less water, isn't it? So they have to prevent water, they have to retain water to prevent the loss of water. The leaves have been reduced to this type of spines. So in this way, you have learned about the one part of this Saudi Arabia lesson. So I told you area which is having less than 25 centimeters of rainfall is said to be a desert, isn't it? So in that areas what happens is there will be very hot, dry areas will be there, hot regions will be there. In that area we have, so to study that type of area, we have chosen Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is the biggest peninsula in the world. It is situated in the Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia is a country. It is having the Red Sea on its west and Persian Gulf on its east. So there are mountains. In some parts there are rocky mountains are there in this area, and land. How is the land of Saudi Arabia? It is having rocky plateaus with loose sand, isn't it? It is having rocky plateaus with the loose sand, and vast region is there, and it is called as Rabbal Khali, meaning the empty area. So in that way, we have that empty area there. Next we have learned about the sand dunes, water sand dunes. The small temporary hills that are formed by sand are called as sand dunes, isn't it? So in that way we learned about the climate. The climate is very hot throughout the year. It reaches to 50 degrees. The nights become cool, and there is total variation of temperatures in day and night. So in that way we have learned about the climate. Then we have learned about the vegetation. Vegetation is also found here. What type of vegetation? The vegetation with the very strong taproot system is found. Next we have some thorny bushes and cactus. So in that way, this cactus, this type of vegetation is found in this region. So this is about something we have learned, and some more part is there. So we will be doing all that in our next class. Till then, have a nice day and prepare yourself well. Keep on looking at this video or seeing this video number of times so that you can learn something from this video. Have a nice day. Next time we will see you again.